What's going on, everyone? This is Robert and Colton from Bridging the Geekdoms podcast. How's it going? How's it going out there, everybody? How's it going?
Penis.
So, what's going on? This is the Bridging the Geekdoms podcast where we try to bridge all the geekdoms in the universe and bring everybody together. We talk about movies, TV, comic books, video games, and so much more.
Wait, you're a TV.
Sometimes I might be.
That's fucking hot.
So this week, though, we got some pretty cool things lined up. Actually, over the next few weeks, we got some pretty cool things lined up here.
Yeah, we got all of our ducks in a row.
So over the next...
What's wrong with me?
I don't really know what's going on with you. So over the next 4 weeks here, we're going to be doing a lot to do with music and film.
We're going to be eating a lot of ass.
And everything. So this is our Volume 2 Music and Film, issue number 1. So... You know, that's the main meat and potatoes of this episode.
The main cock and balls of the episode here.
Is going to be music. But there are a few things that have happened over the past week with our lives and in the entertainment world. So we'll talk a little bit about that before we get to the music section. So, Colton, how's it been?
I got a mustache.
You do have a mustache.
It's a beautiful porno mustache.
You're pretty proud of it, aren't you?
Oh, dude, I got so many compliments on it. I actually think I'm pretty for once in my life.
For once.
Someone threw one of those, like, 50... Remember the old quarter machines? You could put 2 quarters in, they give you, like, a toy?
Yeah.
Someone put 2 quarters in, got a mustache, and threw them on a turd, and here I am.
Oh, man, you're ridiculous. So, besides your mustache, what else has been going on this week?
Girlfriend went home for the summer.
What a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I know you listen, Nicole. I'm sorry. I was just joking. Just joking.
The timing was perfect. So there was that. I'll be doing some stuff this week. Deadpool comes out this week. We'll be getting to that.
Yeah, we'll be checking out Deadpool on Thursday.
Yeah.
So.
Thursday Eastern time, of course.
Thursday Eastern time.
Yes. Not Western, not Pacific, not Japanese. No. Eastern time.
Not Japanese. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, Hiroshima and shit.
So, this past week has been kind of interesting. It was kind of a roller coaster of emotions on my part.
He got a finger in his butt and he doesn't know how he feels about it.
No. This past week was actually where a lot of the announcements were coming from TV networks on what shows are canceled, what are staying, what are renewed, and everything like that. Actually, today, the day of recording, which is Monday the 14th, is
Eastern time.
When it all became official. But over the course of the past probably about 4 or 5 days, we've been hearing tidbits of what's been renewed, what hasn't been, and everything like that. Probably the coolest news, and if you remember us from our old show, The Remote Control, I had a huge discussion a while back about the show Last Man Standing, because a year ago it got canceled by ABC.
Some may say he wasn't the last man standing.
And I was pretty upset about it. I know that a lot of fans out there who like the show were upset about it, and it took them a year, but they finally got picked up by another network. FOXTV has picked them up for another season, for one more season at least. So that was exciting. I was all like, "All right, good job, Fox."
Like,
yeah, Fox. I was like, "Fox, you're doing it good. You're doing it good, Fox.
You're doing it good." Except that you're going to be bought by Disney here soon.
And here's like the thing, like Fox right now, I think has been becoming my favorite network to watch shows. I mean, it's got The Gifted on it, which is a fantastic show. Yay. Gotham, Lethal Weapon, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then Last Man Standing. I'm like, hey, that's 5 shows right there that I'm going to watch weekly, not like, it's like must-watch TV.
Yeah.
So I'm all pumped about it. And then word comes, oh, we're canceling Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm like, what the hell?
You're like, no.
What the hell? So they decided to cancel Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Again, okay, look.
And you only cried for 20 minutes.
I was like, that's not a bad thing. But then they came out and said, actually, rumor, they didn't say anything. Rumor came out that was saying, we're not sure, or Fox isn't sure what they're going to do with Lethal Weapon. The actor who plays Martin Riggs on there, Clayne Crawford, was in a a bit of an issue with the show, like with the actors and stuff like that. People weren't getting along, and
he was being a dick butt.
And basically, there was rumor that he was fired, and he came on Twitter, was like, "Look, I wasn't fired. They can't fire me when I'm not working," and everything like that. So then it was like, well, if they can't find somebody to replace him, then the show's going to get canceled. And I'm like, what the hell? Don't replace him. He's a good actor. He's really brought on and become Martin Riggs. As much as Mel Gibson is Martin Riggs from the films, this guy
is the TV.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he's done a better job than Mel Gibson did. So I'm like, don't do anything here. Don't screw this one up, Fox. You already took Brooklyn Nine-Nine away from me. Don't screw this up. I was like, the only way I'm going to be happy is if they renew it and bring everybody back that's been there. Mm-hmm. So during this time, I watched the season finale of Lethal Weapon, and it was a fucking roller coaster of emotions on that episode too. And it was a really good episode. And the way it ended, I'm like, all right, now if they end it and he gets fired and he don't bring him back, it's going to screw everything up. So that was going on.
But they did they bring him back?
So news came out a couple days ago that Lethal Weapon was renewed for season 3.
Yay!
Woohoo! But Sean William Scott is replacing Clayne Crawford on the show.
Fuck!
So again, I wasn't happy about it, and there's been mixed reports whether Sean William Scott is going to be playing Riggs or if he's going to play a new character. So I don't really understand, like, nobody really knows yet. I don't, like, I haven't seen the official, like, he's going to play a new character or he's going to play Riggs, because the way that the season ended with Riggs, yes, they could go either way, where he doesn't return or he is, back, but that's going to be a shot in the nuts to people who really have watched the show religiously for 2 years and really appreciated these characters, especially what he has done with the character. So
what you've done with the character.
So Fox so far got me on a nice little high there with Last Man Standing, brought me down with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, went back up like here's Lethal Weapon, and then brought me back down whenever they recast Clayne Crawford.
It literally sounds like your life.
So I'm like, okay, now that they've greenlit a new season of Lethal Weapon, now the question was, is Gotham going to be renewed? Because there was rumor that Gotham's life depended on what happened with Lethal Weapon. If Lethal Weapon got canceled, then Gotham would stay on. If Lethal Weapon got renewed, then Gotham would get canceled. So I'm like, oh shit, now Gotham's gonna get canceled. Like, what the hell? Yeah. This show's getting really good now, and they're gonna cancel that.
And they kind of do.
What ended up happening was they renewed it, so we're going back up on the roller coaster, like, yay! And they're like, yes, it's renewed for another season, but it's the final season, it's only going to be 13 episodes. I'm like, damn it!
I'm actually kind of confused I understand the whole they can't use the Joker thing, but who's he going to be then?
So...
Like, they basically built him to be the Joker.
So what they've been doing on this show, and they've said this for quite a few years now, that the idea of the Joker is going to be very relevant in the show. And the way that they look at it, the creators, the writers, and everything of the show look at it is, the Joker is off to the side somewhere. He's
doing his own thing.
Doing his own thing, and he's seeing the news reports and seeing the newspaper articles of these characters and taking note, and could potentially at some point in his life come out and bring all of that together and become the Joker. I don't like that. To me, Jerome and now Jeremiah have been fantastic iterations of the Joker, and truly, in my eyes, is the Joker. Like, he is the Joker. So, I don't know. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to use the Joker. They're not allowed to use the green hair. They're not allowed to do certain things. So I think he now has purple hair.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it is
like
what it is.
His deranged cousin?
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
The interesting thing about these last 13 episodes that we're going to get of Gotham is it is going to focus on Bruce Wayne becoming the Dark Knight, becoming Batman. So that's a cool thing.
So you could potentially see maybe Batman?
My guess is it's going to be similar to Smallville. Like Smallville, the very last scene of Smallville was Clark Kent opening up his shirt and the suit being shown. I think that's going to be something similar to that, where the last scene in Gotham is you're going to see the shadow of a bat up on a building, and that's pretty much it. That's kind of what I figure. But either way, I'm looking forward to the final season. I've liked the show up till now. I'm upset that it's going to get canceled, or it's getting canceled, or it's going to be ending. However, I'm not going to say it's definitely being finished, because that DC streaming service, DC Universe, could pick it up, and that would be brilliant for them to pick it up
and then just continue
it, even if it's just for a season or two, because it's going to bring viewers to it. You know, whether it's they decide, okay, we're going to bring it and do 1 or 2 seasons, be upfront about it right away. Say, look, first off, they want people to get the subscription and buy into it. You have a whole bunch of fans out there that like Gotham. Say, look, Gotham's going to continue for 2 more seasons on this streaming service. We're
going to allow the Joker to be in it.
Maybe, but that's going to draw people into it. So now people who may not have gotten the service are going to have the service. With having the service, then they might give a shot to see Titans or the Harley Quinn animated or Swamp Thing, stuff like that. I think that would be a smart move to do, and personally, in my opinion, and maybe they do it, maybe they don't, because I don't know how the rights work with Fox, because they may would have to buy it off of Fox, and is it worth it, that kind of thing. So we'll see how that all happens and goes, but that's going on. Then something really interesting, speaking of the DC Universe, came up today, right before we actually started podcasting.
Yeah, literally right before we started.
It was announced that Doom Patrol has been ordered by DC Universe, the streaming service, and it's going to be a live-action version of Doom Patrol, and created by Greg Berlanti and his team. Now, Greg Berlanti, he's the mastermind behind the Arrowverse. So Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow. He did Constantine.
You're Constantine.
Okay. So he's ingrained in this. I think he also is part of the show Krypton on Sci-Fi. So he's in the DC universe. Like, he knows the universe. But the cool thing about it is it's not just Greg Berlanti, it's Jeff Johns also. And Jeff Johns, he's kind of the head of DC Comics, the comic side of things. He does a lot with that. Like, he was the mastermind behind Rebirth, which has been a fantastic run of the series.
You're a fantastic run of the series.
So, just interesting. I want to see where they take this Doom Patrol stuff, because, you got some members like Negative Man, Robot Man, Space Case, Crazy Jane, Flex Metallo, and Danny the Ambulance, who could all potentially be part of the team, or they could go to
they're beautiful names.
Or they could go a completely different route and bring some other people into
Bring
it.
your boy Skinny Penis into it.
But Robot Man, there we go. Cliff Steele.
I want to be a DC villain.
And who else? Negative Man. And Negative Man is a fictional superhero from DC Comics. Thank you, Wikipedia. So I don't know much about Doom Patrol.
Sorry.
But look,
Negative Man, he just goes around and just disrespects everybody. He's like, oh man, I might win the lottery. No, you won't. It's a boy. No, it's a girl.
But no, I'm just interested in seeing where they could take this show. I'm always up for new iterations and new versions and things to get me into possibly reading old comics and stuff like that. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for the Arrow TV show, I wouldn't have cared about Arrow in the comics. And same with Flash. Like, the Flash TV show really got me into the Flash and reading the comics and learning.
And then you read Flashpoint and it was like, oh.
Yeah, Flash. Oh God, so good. Actually, I read Flashpoint before I saw Flash, but again, like, I was always like, I'm going to stay with the mainstream, Batman and Superman,
Yeah.
But I've kind of grown and discovered other characters because of the shows, and that's what Doom Patrol could do, not just for me, but other viewers as well. So that's what is that now, like the 6th show that they're going to put on DC Universe. That's crazy.
Something around there. Yeah.
They can.
And they got quite a lineup already.
Yeah, and they still have the potential of picking up that Metropolis, which is going to be like Gotham, but in Metropolis. That's interesting. So it's pretty cool things going on in the world of comics and comic book TV shows and movies and stuff like that.
Marvel is now the 6th highest grossing film, or Infinity War, is the 6th highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah, and the number 1 superhero film of all time, grossing wise.
It is not going to come anywhere near Avatar.
No, it's not going to hit. I don't even think it's going to get close to the 2.6 billion that Force Awakens has or something.
Yeah,
but
it's chilling though at like 1.4 or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if it hit 2 billion because it just opened in China this past week, so it still has a lot of legs to go there. I wouldn't be surprised if it hit 2 billion, but I don't see it going much higher than 2 billion.
Yeah, it's not going to hit no 2.6 bill.
No. But it deserves it.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a movie. I knew that it was going to be the number one superhero movie gross-wise. But
You didn't think it was going to be that good, though.
I didn't think it was going to be good as it is. No. I knew it was going to make all the damn money.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm still might see it sometime this week. I might see it Friday.
Let's see here. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got picked up for a 6th and abbreviated season, which is kind of shocking because they even wrote this season to be a series finale. Mm-hmm. So why didn't they just let it go?
Yeah.
I understand that people want to see it, but if they were planning on going out this season,
they should have let it go.
And shows that they have problems, like when shows try to extend it past their vision of a series finale, it goes bad. Like Scrubs and How I Met Your Mother. Like, even though How I Met Your Mother I felt ended
The
well.
Office.
I think How I Met Your Mother ended well. I think it could have been better, and if they would have done different things. Anyways, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's cool.
You're an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was
Maybe.
the chair, I swear.
Maybe.
So how are you guys this week? Bob's looking at stuff, so I'm going to talk to you guys.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything that I wanted to bring up. Oh, yeah. Solo's coming out in a couple weeks. So
Yeah, literally.
Next
week.
The premiere was 2 or 3 days ago. People went to it. People loved it. There was just Twitter reactions. Obviously, there's no reviews yet. There's embargo, but a lot of people enjoy it. They're not saying it's the best Star Wars movie. They're not even saying that it's better than the new ones or anything like that. They're just saying it's a good movie, and I think that's
what it needs to be.
I think that's going to calm a lot of people down because of all the shit that it went through last summer. So that's a good thing, and I'm looking forward to it. I know that there's a lot of people who aren't looking forward to it, but I am. So.
I was one of those people. I'm actually, it has my attention.
Yeah. So I think that's all I'm going to cover for new stuff. Like I said, I think I said this last week. I'm trying to step away from doing news stuff too much. I don't want to talk about too much about news because you can get that from almost any other podcast in the world.
Yeah.
So.
But we're going to talk about shit. But I'm going to talk to you guys. How are you?
Yeah.
Remember, take your vitamins. I love you.
So, like I said, this week we're going to start our journey through music and film. And, to me, music is an important aspect of film. It's an important part of it. I've done multiple episodes of these podcasts over the past year covering music and film. I really enjoy doing it. I love talking about it. I think I talk pretty passionately about it, and that's what you're supposed to do when you do a podcast. You talk about things that you're passionate about, something that you enjoy.
I can't talk about ass on this one.
But I also like talking because I know sometimes when I talk to Colton while doing this, there's a lot of stuff that he doesn't even know that I bring up to him, and he thinks it's pretty cool. So I could see like somebody learning in front of me. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it takes a lot. I don't really absorb stuff.
So for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be covering different aspects of music and film, and then after that, we may do more. Depends on how I feel and where we're at that point.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'll take up the mantle and throw together a music episode.
Maybe.
Watch me host it and it go to shit real quick.
Now, when used properly, music in a movie can set a mood. It can accentuate certain events, act as a cue or theme for recurring characters, or just bring the feel of a certain time period. Like I said, for the next 4 episodes of Bridging the Geekdoms, we're going to cover different ways music is used in film. And I really do hope that you all enjoy the musical journey that we will be embarking on.
Grab the motherfucking oars. We going down a river of music.
So, each week we will tackle a different function used in music and film and explain what and why. The 4 functions we will be looking at are atmosphere, emotion, theme, and psychological. These are all aspects used in film to interact with not just that of the film, but the viewer as well, all while making the experience that much better. So for me, music, like I said, is an integral part of the movie experience. In many cases, music can make or break a film. Just try to imagine Star Wars without the great works of John Williams, or even Lord of the Rings without the sounds of Howard Shore. It's tough to do because these composers have created such an iconic sound that lives on even without the movies themselves. So this episode, I wanted to take one of those functions and talk about that. And it may even be the easiest function to recognize in film, and that is the atmosphere. So the atmosphere is usually set early on in a film, even as early as the opening credits of a movie. The reason for this is the importance of setting the tone, and more importantly, the genre of what you are watching. Is it a Western, thriller, heist, sci-fi? I mean, really, it's hard to imagine a John Wayne film with a modern sci-fi soundtrack like Interstellar behind it. But on the flip side, you can't exactly utilize a Western feel of music to fit it with that with Christopher Nolan's films. It just doesn't work.
I think you could.
I don't know.
I would like to. Let's do it. You heard it here first. The Bridging the Geekdoms. We're redubbing music in movies.
So when I think of music, when I sit there and really think of music and what you need to do for film, I like to do this test, and I do this with almost every soundtrack composition that I listen to from a movie. I think that you have to close your eyes and just listen to the music. And you should be able to understand the type of film that you would be watching just by listening to the music.
Porn.
It should easily take you out of reality and into the setting of the real world it is set in. Or not the real world, but into the world that the movie is set in.
A pizza man delivering a pizza.
So, the first one that I'm going to bring up here, and if I can pull up the right stuff here, the first one I'm going to talk about here is a Hans Zimmer score. Now, you guys are going to hear me talk about Hans Zimmer quite a bit over the next few weeks. It's because he and John Williams are pretty much at the top of my list for composers and for film. I think that the two of them have done some amazing things with movies and music and everything like that. However, because last year we kind of covered music and film, I'm going to do everything I can to stay away from the movies that I talked about then, because I feel you gotta grow a little bit. You gotta talk about different things.
We gotta mature a little bit.
So this one here, again, we're talking about the atmosphere of a movie. So I'm going to play this here and just really. Again, I mean, close your eyes. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Can't, but just close your eyes and just listen to it.
Yeah, fucking copyright.
One of the things I love about this is taken from Interstellar. It's the Cornfield Chase. That's the track title. What I really love about it is you close your eyes, and whether you've seen the movie or not, you get that sci-fi feel. Mm-hmm. You get that feel of just otherworldliness, the great beyond, just stuff like that. And that's what music can do. Again, you have to sit there, and if you close your eyes and listen, you'll hear things. And that's what I love doing. That. It's one of my favorite pastimes, is to just sit down, throw on some music and close my eyes and just lay back on the couch and just listen.
See, I fall asleep when I do that.
I get into
I get too relaxed with it.
So, but again, that's Hans Zimmer from Interstellar. Check out that entire soundtrack. I actually did not appreciate that soundtrack as much as I should have in the past, because I really don't know why I didn't enjoy it as much as I did. But when I first saw the movie, which I really enjoyed the movie, the soundtrack just didn't land for me. I think it was because I was so stuck on the Inception soundtrack that it took me a while to...
It just didn't hit you in an Interstellar type way.
Sure. But yeah, that's one of my favorite... That actually might be my favorite track from the Interstellar soundtrack, is the Cornfield Chase. It's just so good, so good. Then there are times when, you have to be a little more earnest, a little more like uppity, and like upbeat.
Sometimes you
about something.
you just gotta do it.
So I'm going to bring up the composer John Powell, and the reason why I'm bringing him up now especially is because he's the composer of the upcoming movie Solo, a Star Wars story. And, I said this back when it was announced that he was going to be the composer. I hope that he kind of took the feel of this particular movie, of the themes that we hear from this movie franchise. And I'm kind of hoping they do. I'm not sure how yet, because we've only heard tidbits of the Solo soundtrack in the trailers. But this here is the main titles, and I'm actually going to skip a little bit here, of the Bourne Identity. And just listen. Again, close your eyes, you listen to it, and what do you see? I mean, you in your mind, you're going to see,
someone desperately trying to get to the shitter.
But no, I mean, in a way, you're kind of like, not the shitter aspect of it, but the side of it where, it's very earnest. It's very,
someone needs to get somewhere quick.
Exactly. It's about moving fast. And, this whole franchise of Bourne Identity, it's about escaping, getting away, and it's
about being born with an identity.
It's an action film. And, you can hear that in the music. Again, it's setting the atmosphere. And this is right in the beginning, the main title of this movie. This is what you hear in the beginning. So you understand what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It's not like you're sitting there like hearing the Moby song from Bourne Identity right away, because that's not going to give you much of an atmosphere. This gives you that feel like, okay, I think I'm getting into something that's going to be a little intense, probably.
Getting into something that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave's going to take a shit for 15 minutes.
So again, that's the Bourne Identity. I love it. Again, this is just examples of building an atmosphere into film. Now, this one here I really wanted to bring up because I don't think I specifically don't give enough credit to these types of films. Colton can attest to that because he's a huge fan of horror films and thrillers.
Oh, I'm a horror slut.
I just don't give it enough credit. So what I did was, while I was setting up this specific episode for the podcast, I wanted to go and make sure I pulled something from a thriller. And I actually initially was like, you know what, I want to go back and I was going to do something from like the original Halloween or even like Friday the 13th or something like that. Like that was my initial plan, and I stopped and I said, you know what, no. Because right now we're getting this resurgence of thrillers and horror films.
Like good horror.
And the last one that I've seen that was really good was the movie It. So I wanted to listen to some music from that.
I never really paid attention to the music during the film.
Now this one is called 29 Niebolt Street. The composer is Benjamin Wallfish. Just listen.
I remember.
While listening to it, you can hear the despair,
you can hear
angst.
The appearance of It. Oh, sorry, Pennywise. Even though technically he's It. That's a whole lore in and of itself.
But again, when it comes to thrillers, I mean, you can hear, the different sound effects that they use within the music, like that right there, to help enhance the jump scares and stuff like that. But again, it's the sound, the atmosphere. It's building up this feeling of just, like, okay, this is going to be a thriller. It's going to be a horror film. It's a scary film. And that's what the music has to do when you're talking about different genres. And, again, I can sit here and I could go over film after film after film like that. But what I really want to jump to now, because for me, I think I've always appreciated music when it comes to animated films. I've appreciated it since the early 90s or mid 90s, when you talk about movies like Lion King or Aladdin and Toy Story, stuff like that. Now the thing is that's the thing, when you look at a lot of those movies, a lot of those have words to it. You have Elton John doing Lion King, you have something Newton for Toy Story, So you have a bunch of
John Newton, is that his name?
I can't remember right now.
Sir Isaac Newton. That's it.
It's Sir Isaac Newton.
Sir Isaac Newton composed for Toy Story. That's right. That's right.
So anyway, that's what you really think of, but people don't realize that there are some excellent compositions created for these movies as well. Now, I didn't go back and take stuff from there because a lot of that, like Lion King, was Hans Zimmer, and I don't want to keep bringing up Hans Zimmer, even though he's an excellent composer.
Maybe he'll get his own episode eventually.
We
did a John Williams, so we could even do a John Williams revisited after Solo, because he does do a couple compositions.
Yeah. I plan on it, and trust me, over the next few weeks, we're going to be touching on John Williams some more, as well as Hans Zimmer. I like
John Williams.
So we're going to hit some others, but
I'm disappointed you didn't play the Hans Zimmer song I like.
Which one?
The Electro Suite, my favorite Hans Zimmer song.
Oh, from Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is
Electro's theme song.
Yeah, but again, that's going to be later on because, like I said, we're covering a different function. Yeah. So themes is later on, in the podcast. Right now we're talking about
whatever. Whatever.
Anyway, so another one from John Powell. Again, I wanted to kind of shove everybody's face into John Powell because
we're spreading his butt cheeks and putting our faces in. Here's some more John.
The reason being is because of Solo. I want people to know what they're going to be getting into. So we heard Born Identity, that theme from John Powell. So this one here is from John Powell also.
What is this in? This sounds familiar. Why do I know this? What's this in?
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, that's why I know this.
It's the flying theme from How to Train Your Dragon.
Unpopular opinion, I really like that movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's a really good movie. And again, the music is just fantastic for it. Listen to the soundtrack. I'm telling you, dude, you're going to listen to the soundtrack and you're like, wow, this is excellent.
You're like, I just jizzed all over my own titties.
I don't know about that, but it's such a good soundtrack. It really is. You get that feel of young adventure, and that's really what the movie's about is, this young kid going on an adventure, becoming friends with a dragon, going for
with no teeth.
With no teeth, toothless. So, again, it's there's so many good animated scores out there. Another one that I really, 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 really love that I don't know why more people don't listen to is The Incredibles. I had to bring it up because Incredibles is coming out
this summer.
Incredibles 2 coming out this June. And again, the feel that this brings,
God, I forgot how much I enjoyed this.
This is by Michael Giacchino. It's called The Glory Days. And
it's the opening credits song.
Michael Giacchino has been known to do a lot of stuff with J.J. Abrams. He also did music for Rogue One.
I really like this.
It's good. It gives you that old feel of like the 50s.
Yeah.
Like you get that feel.
Gets that good retro feel.
Yeah, but it's also very heroic.
Yeah.
So you're getting into a heroic film, something that's very
until they all die from capes getting caught in airplanes.
So I really like that. And then I wanted to do one other animated one here, and it's from a composer named Henry Jackman. And most recently, there was a film that came out.
Henry Jackman, that's a funny name.
And this is another one that's getting a sequel this year. So I was like, you know what? I should throw this in there as well.
Cat in the Hat. Strikes Back.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Never watched the first one. This is some like chill music.
It really is. But honestly, like you listen to the sounds that they use, it sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
You know, like and
it's
that's
definitely main screen song.
Exactly, and you listen to it, and that's what Wreck-It Ralph is. I mean, it's all set inside the world of video games, and you know that's.
But is it though?
But it's also has this hopeful feel to it, you know, which really fits the overall theme. Again, we'll be getting into themes later on, but you know that's kind of the idea behind it. Is, you know, it's just a good time. Like, you know, you're in video games. Like, who doesn't want to live in a video game? Like, how cool would that be? You know, like you never die. Like, you die, you come back to life. You die, you come back to
catch
life.
some Pokemon.
You know, like, that would just be a blast. And, if you haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, I'm telling you, watch it.
I haven't.
I own it. Like,
I haven't seen
it. You need to watch it. It's a good movie. I'm not too sure about the sequel coming up. Like, the previews haven't sold me yet, but
it's gonna fall with that, you know, Pixar Disney thing where the sequel's always not as good as the first.
Yeah.
And then it hits you with a third one like you need it.
So that was Wreck-It Ralph by Henry Jackman. Again, listen to the soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack. I'm not going to say it's a great soundtrack, but again, it's all about building the atmosphere of what you're watching, and that's what all those songs have done. Like, you know, you sit there and you can feel and understand what kind of movie you're going to be getting into. Now, I know that we're talking a lot about movies.
I'm excited because this is one I have a couple songs for you to actually play.
But what, you know, I believe I wanted to touch on this side of things a little bit because we don't talk about it enough. And I know, again, this is all about movies, but in a way, video games have becoming more cinematic than ever before, over the past 10, 15 years especially. So the music in games have become quite an event. Obviously, the early days of video games, the music was enjoyable. You know, you talked about Super Mario, Legends of Zelda, you know, the early Final Fantasies, like those had
Chrono Trigger.
They had good music, but you were only able to do so much with an 8-bit, 16-bit cartridge, you know. It wasn't until it really wasn't until, say, like the 64-bit era, or when PlayStation, the 32-bit with the CDs, were they were able to do more.
Or they were actually allowed to play music
with the music. It wasn't that they were allowed, but they could do more.
That, you know,
with music, and while again, there's a lot of cool things. You know, you can listen to Final Fantasy VII, even Metal Gear.
Final Fantasy, just all of the music.
They have good music in them, but to me, where it really took off, and it's going to be the early to mid 2000s, is where it really started to take off. I want to say probably the one that stuck out to me most was the first Halo game. That music that Marty O'Donnell did for the first Halo was just fantastic and great and enjoyable, and it was actually the first video game soundtrack that I bought because the music was so good. But to me, my favorite was the theme from Halo 2.
So many memories.
I know, dude. I know.
So many fucking memories.
Yeah, the thing I love about this is the Halo theme Mjolnir mix from Halo 2 by Martin O'Donnell. What I love about it is, you know, the combination of bringing in like the voices of the monks, and then, you know, you have the electric guitar and electric guitars, I should say, but you know, the whole soundtrack as a whole utilizes
everything,
you know, from modern electric guitars to the brass to, you know, the symphony sounds and everything like that, just orchestral music, I should say. And it's just fantastic what they've been doing with everything. I don't know, like, I really don't know what else to say about it because it's such a good soundtrack, and I have all of the Halo soundtracks.
Didn't they all come with the Halo Master Chief Collection?
No.
I thought there was an edition of the Master Chief Collection that had.
No, I bought them all separately as they were coming out because
you were dedicated.
Oh, dude, Halo! I tell you what, Halo I would literally take the albums, put them on, and I would read the books. The initial.
You're a nerd.
The first 3 Halo books were so freaking good. I would say the first 4 Halo books were that good. Loved them. But that was the Halo theme Mjolnir mix by Martin O'Donnell.
Here, play track 22 for me, and I'll talk about a song. Track 22.
I don't know what it's from though.
There you go.
I have that on here.
Oh, do you really?
Let's see, do I have that specific song? What was this?
And end once and for all.
Yeah.
Fucking tits.
So
that's one of my favorite gaming series.
So here, I'll throw this up next.
Cool. So I'm just gonna let you listen for a bit. So at this point in the game, you have made it onto the Citadel after it was fused with the, I can't remember what it was, the weapon to destroy the Reapers, and the Reapers are laying waste to the rest of the galaxy. You as Shepard make it onto the Citadel, and you are greeted with a choice of synthesize, combine, or destroy the Reapers. And pretty much any ending you pick, because the ending was shit, but neither here nor there. This is the ending scene after you decide and you see well, for all 3 endings are all the same, what choice you made affect the rest of the galaxy. And you're seeing all the final goodbyes and everything happen in front of you. This for me at this point was about 120-hour journey.
So for me, and the reason why I put it on here, because this was actually the last one that I wanted to talk to on the video game side of things, but I kind of just jumped to it now.
Did you ever play Mass Effect 3?
No.
Or Mass Effect at all?
I played the first one. But, really what it comes down to is, while the music in Mass Effect does a great job in setting the atmosphere, the scientific sci-fi-ish, futuristic feel. Apocalyptic. This song specifically really grabs your emotions. And
God, this part of the game, I'm fucking getting teary-eyed thinking about it. This is one of the 3 games that's ever made me cry.
And this, is something that we're going to be talking about next week, is emotion.
Oh my God. Film. We got to play that song again.
So, now getting back to the film side of things, like I said, I want to talk about video games real quickly there, because video games, I think, have been important when it comes to music and in general. We've had some great musical themes.
You know what you should have played? You should have played the Mario death little thing when he died in, like, Mario 1. You're like, man, it's so sad.
But getting back to the film side of things, we were talking a lot about, these musical scores, these compositions of what film has done so well to help set a tone. However, there are films that don't use composition. Sometimes they will use regular music to help set a tone, and sometimes set a tone or set a genre that doesn't match that of the film to help get a point across. And there's a few films that I'm thinking about with that. One is Moulin Rouge. I know a lot of people, woo, Moulin Rouge. Actually, I can think of 3 people that I know that really like the movie besides me.
One sitting across the table.
Okay, 4 people. So, Moulin Rouge, excellent movie. Shrek, and Marie Antoinette. Now, Marie Antoinette, using the song I Want Candy despite being set in the 1700s was a very interesting choice. But there's a scene in there where they're like all getting ready and doing stuff,
they're all doing shit and things.
Yeah, and they play the song I Want Candy.
I want candy. I want candy.
So I know that was for some ungodly known reason, that was my senior song. So don't ask me why.
That's fucking awesome.
Not only that, but we had to play it in the marching band for senior night. So
that's hilarious.
I played bass drum, so that I played that. Like that's what I played.
Great. That's fucking great.
But so you have that I Want Candy for Marie Antoinette. You have Shrek, who used loads and loads of modern music throughout that movie to help explain the atmosphere and what was going on in a storybook fantasy world. So you have these storybook creatures and characters, yet you have All-Star from Smash Mouth playing.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go.
But the one I do want to talk about real quick and play a little bit from is from Moulin Rouge. And I had to play it. I had to pick Moulin Rouge because it's my
red.
number one. It's my number one favorite musical and everything like that. This Moulin Rouge takes place in the early 1900s. Yet they used modern music. My gift is my song. And this one's for you. And you can tell everybody that this is your song. It may be quite simple, now that it's done. Hope you don't mind, I hope you don't mind that I put down in words how wonderful life is. Now you're in the world. I could sit here and listen to this the whole time. But, not only does it bring the atmosphere of what's going on in the movie at the time, but it, again, evokes that emotion, that you have. You have that emotion now that, okay, this is a love song going on between a man and a woman. More so the man talking to the woman, singing to her, like, look, this is your song. This is for you. I will do anything for you, essentially. And that's what they use it for. And that's why I want to lead into next week being about emotion, being about the emotional attachments and songs that we get in film to connect us more with the characters that we watch and love to watch and everything like that. That's pretty much all for the first episode of the musical journey for us here. I didn't want to take too much time. This episode's only been about 45-ish minutes or so. But again,
it's the door opening right now.
Exactly.
We're gonna smack you in the face with all kinds of music.
Yeah, over the next few weeks, it's gonna be so much music in your face.
So much music all over your face, chest, neck, maybe a little in your booty crack.
But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like hearing about stuff. I hope you agree that atmosphere is an important aspect of film, and it is the most recognizable.
It's also the most important thing to look for when you go out to eat.
So,
You know what we did just there? Where I said something stupid? That's Nicole's favorite part of every podcast.
Really?
When I say something stupid, he just... and keep on going.
Again, we're going to cover a lot more. Let me know some of your favorite, post up in the group.
Cover you. We got a lot of people. There's a lot of activity.
Yeah, we got a lot of activity going on right now in there. Post up some of your favorite songs and scores and just musicals, whatever you want to do. Let's make this group for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Let's make it about music. Let's get excited about music and film and what it brings to the experience of the movie, of going to the movies, of sitting at home listening to or watching a movie on your big surround sound, that kind of stuff. Let us know what you love listening to, what you like watching, and what you prefer to hear on movies and movies. A lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of people don't realize or pay attention to the music. Yet, if you were to take it out, their experience would drop significantly. They would not enjoy the movie as much if they took it out. That's how important music is in movies, and I think people take it for granted.
But then there's also movies like A Quiet Place. Have you made it to see it yet?
No, I have not.
That uses little to no music.
Yeah.
And the movie is almost entirely silent.
Well, that's kind of the point of that movie. Yeah. There are movies that do that. There's some movies that just throw in, ugly filler music, and stuff like that.
Just to sell a little bit extra money.
I'm not going to say anything. Most of the Marvel Universe does that. They just kind of throw in random music that just fits what they're doing, but doesn't really enhance it. But again, we're going to get more into the superhero aspect of things over the next few weeks, especially when it comes to emotion, when it comes to themes, and even psychological. And that's going to be, one area that we hit is, the psychological toll that music takes on a person while they're watching movies. So that's that. Now, something I know that we are going to do, we want to start answering questions from our...
Weird, I was just typing that off.
Yeah, we want to start answering questions from our fans on the Facebook group. So Colton, as of right now, is typing up a post that we're going to throw up in the group where it says, ask us questions, and we will answer them on the next week's podcast. So jump in our group, join our group. We're over 400 strong now. We keep growing.
414.
Yeah, we keep growing. More people are joining, liking it, having fun. A lot of talk. We throw up news stories. We talk about what's out in the news. We have some polls. We have some debates, stuff like that. It's a good time for anything geekdom, no matter, or fandom, really. If you like anything when it comes to entertainment, music, movies, comics, TV, and so much more, you can join the group and talk about it there. It's a friendly place. I have not had to kick anybody out yet, which is amazing. So it's been a good time. So good times to have by all. So please join us. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And thanks for listening. Again, next week we'll be talking about the music side and the emotional side of music and film. So this week, it was enjoyable. So I'm Robert, and with me as always was
your everyday skinny boy penis,
Colton, Payne, or Bird, or whatever he wants to be called.
Whoa. You just dropped my full name there.
Well, people look you up on Facebook, they're going to see Colton Payne if they...
Yeah, true. Colton Payne on Facebook, at Twitter, WhiteRuby53.
Payne stands for pain in the ass, right?
Yeah, Payne, each different word stands for something. Letter stands for something. Instagram, I think it's WhiteRuby53 now. It's not underscore this motherfucker anymore.
You didn't need to tell us your entire life there, buddy.
Snapchat's Seabird52.
I don't think there's going to be a Star Wars talk this week.
Yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry.
But we will definitely have a nice big one for you next week because...
we always have a nice big one for you.
That will be working, or we'll be just days away from.
Yeah, we will
Solo.
Be 4 days away, 3 days away.
When we record. So we're going to drop it before Solo comes out.
Probably Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll drop it before. So if you do go wait in line or go hang out at the theater, talk about it, that kind of stuff with your friends at the theater. But yeah, we're definitely going to.
We're going to be there.
Oh, I forgot to say, for the Mass Effect, the song that we listened to was at an end once and for all, and it had 4 composers who helped on the soundtrack, so I don't know which one did anything.
Here, hold on, Apple Music
but Sasha DeKaisen, Sam Hullock, Chris Lennertz, Clint Mansell, and Chris Velasco. I'm sorry, 5. 5 different composers for the album, so...
Here, hold on. I'm still going.
Still going?
Yeah, here, hold on.
Holding.
Okay.
Holding.
Clint Amzell and Sam Hulick.
Okay, so they're the ones that worked on that. But again, excellent soundtrack. Check that out as well. But again, I think we said our goodbyes enough already, don't you think? I mean, we've really been talking.
I love you.
Here and
make sure you go home, take your vitamins.
What vitamins?
The Pangus.
It's not a vitamin at all.
It's small enough to be one. It's melt in your mouth deliciousness.
All right. Bye, everybody. Hey, did you enjoy this podcast? If you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you do everything you have to do to hear more from Bridging the Geekdoms and Bridging the Geekdoms podcast. So, hope to hear, or not hear, I guess I wouldn't hear you. You would hear me. Hope to see you guys subscribe, and we'll be talking to you all soon. See ya.
Ow, fuck!